welcome back to the Amazon European Masters. We're getting ready to go into game number 2 of Group B and day number 2 here as we're going on to our second game, which is going to be Tricked, the first seed from the NLC, taking on PDW, the first seed from the Ultra Liga. Now, PDW, all Polish team, very interestingly. All 5 players, kind of continuing what we see a lot from these Polish leagues. Is some of these top teams are always just all Polish players. For Tricked, they actually have three Danish players. So there's a lot of Danish representation, a lot of Polish representation in this game. And the other flags on the side of Tricked also red and white as well. So, you know, a bit of synchronization going on.
Turkish and Swiss, I think it is, right? So yeah, beautiful. Excellent. The synergy is already there. Yeah, you definitely don't need to import any talent if you're in the Ultra Liga. As they've proved time and time again, they just churn out good League of Legends players. And this is kind of some fresh faces, specifically from the org. Like, this org didn't exist until this split. And it's their first time here. Are you going to correct me? Or
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. Hit me up.
I'm gonna completely interrupt you there and break the fourth wall, but you're muted in my ear, mate. So you need to unmute so I can hear you. I have no idea what you said.
Hey,
there we go. I'll be able to hear you now.
So, I don't think I was muted on stream, so that's okay. Yeah,
you're fine on stream.
The Polish squad it's a new team. That's what I said. Yeah, but
good.
it's the first time that we've that Rogue or Illumina or even Kick hasn't been like the top dogs for Ultra Liga. We always see at least one of those teams really bringing it through, and not this time around. Not this time. It's some fresh faces in PDW.
Exactly the same though for Tricked. This is the team that beat out Fnatic Rising in the grand finals. XL, who were the expected team, and going into this NLC split, the expectations were, all right, XL came second versus KC in the last European Masters. They took a game off them in that best of 5. The expectations were incredibly high for the identical squad. Nothing changed on XL. And Tricked were then placed in their group, because in the NLC it's broken up into Group A and Group B. Tricked were in Group A with XL, and Tricked came first out of that group. XL came third. XL didn't even make it out of the first stage of the playoffs. And Tricked sailed through the higher upper bracket into that grand final and then put on an absolute monster performance versus Fnatic Rising. Tricked are genuinely a terrifying team, and I'm so excited to see how they do on the big stage. And this is probably going to be a really, really big game for them. This is obviously the other first seed in their group. This is a very illustrious region, an incredibly storied region, so it's going to be a hard matchup for them. But if they can find a win here, it's a statement for the NLC. And for PDW, like you said, brand new team. We've never seen this team before on the side for Poland. We're used to different teams being the first seed, so it's about them kind of holding the pride of the region. Anyway, we're moving forward into the Champ Selects. We've got the Jace and the Lucian being banned away so far.
I just love the logo, PDW's logo.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's brilliant stuff. Yeah, even though this is a new team, new identity. We've seen Bruness, Czajek, I think OD as well. We've seen them come from the Masters. They played in like Luminar and Kick and stuff like that. So yeah, not completely new faces, but still a little bit. Czajek's going to get his LeBlanc taken away from him. I wouldn't be too surprised to see a bit of priority placed on the Twisted Fate, honestly, in this draft. I think that Syndra ban as well maybe hints towards a potential TF pickup, because that can be a little bit annoying to play into. We'll see what Trick decide to do, and if they want to maybe, because Poulsen's decent at that as well, whether he wants to put some pride on that too.
We'll see if there's maybe some attention towards the Rise as well. We've seen a rise in priority of that champion, excuse the pun. The Camille is going to get taken away now. I'm also thinking about the junglers. Jungle pool untouched right now, so I feel like if you're PDW, probably just leave it untouched and take whatever is left over. I don't feel like you want to force your hand and take away something you may want later. A DenVoksne special in the Ezreal going to be denied there from the side of Tricked, and now Tricked is probably expecting to first pick whichever jungle they prefer, unless, like you said, they really want to get Poulsen on something like a Twisted Fate.
Yeah, I don't think you'll necessarily first pick the TF. I think it's either going to be Viego, Lee Sin, or Xin. I think would make the most sense right here as your first pick. The thing is, I think Viego is often the jungler that most teams prioritize the highest. But as far as Bruness is concerned, his most played champion is Xin, and it's not really that close. He's played 13 games of Xin, and his second most played champion, he's played 3 games on that. So yeah, wow, he quite likes his Xin Zhao. And it's still very good in the meta, and you know, there's a lot of good junglers, even if you throw Trundle into there. So
yeah, I expect this to be a Xin Zhao in this rotation then, because Taxa also quite likes that Xin Zhao. I mean, most junglers like the Xin Zhao at the moment. Ziggs going to get locked in there. I like this because it is flexible between the mid and the bot lane, so not really showing their hand too much here. With the Rakan picked up by Trick, so obviously focusing a little bit more towards the support role for now. Could see that Zyra Rakan bot lane duo come out from Trick if they want to. DenVoksne is very capable of playing that champion. It suits his playstyle. DenVoksne is definitely a player who likes to sit back and farm quite a lot. He kind of old school reckless style where he just kind of turns up to fights with 300 CS and pops off. But Bruness actually shying away from the Xin Zhao and actually going into the Lee Sin. We'll see what the answer is going to be out here from the side of Trick. So obviously you do have things like that Trundle. You're talking about the skirmishing power of that, but he did hit on this Viego as well. It has been left open here, and an exceptionally strong jungle at the moment. Also a flexible pick.
Yep. And the thing with the Lee Sin pick as well from the side of PDW is it's a fairly good takeaway from Taxa because it's his most played champion as well. So you can't really go wrong with knocking that one down. I would like to see maybe like a Tristana or something like this from Tricked as well. If you're, you know, it still leaves flexibility because that can go to mid and to bot. And I really like Tristana and Rakan as a combo because they both like to just bomb it down and just jump in. And I think that's something which you can get a lot of value out of against someone like Ziggs, obviously, if you want to punish that. And there it is. There's going to be that Tristana lock-in. I think, you know, stylistically, it makes a lot of sense, and just from what these teams play, and for what Trick plays specifically, also makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think this is a really nice lock-in here for Trick. Now, see what PDW decide to rotate as their final thing here. I probably just expected to be some kind of support, and then they don't really reveal where the Ziggs is going because Czajek can still play it, VoD can still play it, but you probably do want to get yourself a decent support so you don't just get heavily focused in that area. Gonna lock themselves a little bit of engage, so they can also handle the Rakan in lane. He's jumpy, he's hard to catch, but a point and click stun from the Q. Quick bop on could just be enough to lock Lucky in places. Now we head into ban phase 2. We'll see where the attention goes because remember, both the Ziggs and Tristana are flexible. So it may have some stuff revealed here just for how these bans go.
Wouldn't be too surprised to see more top lane bans maybe even coming out of Tricked because they've already focused a decent amount onto pinching like Color / Czajek's pool with that, you know, the Jace and the Camille. So yeah, I think, you know, if you want to just bring some more of that down, like Nah, maybe Gwen, these kind of champions, because it's most likely going to be that blind top, I would imagine, because then you still hold that flex for the last pick if you're PDW. Having said that, of course, if you really want to get the counter pick for Color, then that, you know, you absolutely just throw the flex in the bin and then you're all sorted. So it's going to be Rise taken away instead, which would imply that PDW is or Trick think that this Ziggs is going in the bot side, which you might think as well if you're sitting at home watching, like, Ziggs is more of a bot lane than the mid laner, which I think is pretty fair to say. But both like Czajek has played this domestically. Like, he does play this in mid as well, so it's something you have to respect.
It's the same with the Tristana. Poulsen does play the Tristana, but the Orianna is a very nice ban away from him. Is a champion that's consistently banned away from him domestically. Madly, also pretty big advocate of the Wukong, so it's going to be a nice denial away from here. Also pretty comfortable to pick up into, you know, potentially blind here. The Renekton has been left open, so I feel like that's something to keep in mind. And actually with that Gnar ban away, I think Color might be quite happy to pick this Renekton up and slap that in the top lane, and like you said, then leave that counter pick open for mid lane last.
We'll see what happens though. If
or not.
Yeah, well, it's all right. Of course, because you suggested it, the opposite's going to happen. That's just how it goes when you're talking about draft. I think, honestly, like at this point, if you do just want to save that... see, you're right. It's not a Renekton, but you are going to get that safe blind there. So when you've got an Ornn, you know you're not going to... Like, you can play weak side pretty easily, right? It's still a really good option for that. I'm a tad concerned for Poulsen here because his champion pool has been like mega pinched. He plays Jace, LeBlanc, Ryze, Orianna, Syndra, and Lucian, and they're all gone. Those are his most played champions. If he play whatever champion he picks now is a champion that he's only ever played once, if at all. Like he hasn't played more than one game on whatever he's going to pick right now. That's generally how much his champion pool has been pinched here. But he's quite a flexible player. Like he can play a lot of different stuff. So hopefully for Tricked, it doesn't influence them too much, as it is going to be that Gragas in the top side against the Ornn, pretty much just chilling there. Nothing too sexy, but some good frontline and a good amount of displacement as well if you can catch that Ziggs out of position with your cask.
Well, it does look like that thing you alluded to all the way back at the beginning. The TF is going to get picked up for Poulsen, so Poulsen going to be more a team player this game, looking to set up for the team. And we'll see whether or not the Gragas and the Viego swap around, because there is a little bit of movement and shifting to happen there, but you would expect it to be the Gragas top lane and the Viego in the jungle. That's typically where we've been seeing Viego as of late, and same for the Gragas. Over to PDW now to round out their comp. They'll be looking for either a mid laner or a bot laner, depending on what they want to do with his Ziggs. Feel like it's probably just going to be a mid laner. Yes, they lock in the Sylas, so if they can match out on the TF, steal away the Destiny, you just follow him.
Yep, it's a really good matchup in the Twisted Fate. You can rush merc trades easy peasy, so it's hard for you to fall victim of the gold card. You can steal the Destiny, which is absolutely bonkers, and you just hold your own lane really, really easily. Like, it's just like it's the perfect pick into Sylas, honestly. Into Twisted Fate, sorry. I love it as that last pick. I think honestly it's a really good response, and both these teams have drafted themselves some pretty well-rounded comps.
Absolutely. Let's talk about them though. Let's see what our win conditions are going into this game. Typically, let's just focus on the kind of first 15 minutes. What do you think that Tricked and PDW are going to be looking to do in this first 15 minutes of the game?
There's definitely more aggression on the side of Tricked. Whenever you're playing versus a Ziggs, yeah, that's probably going to be a little bit chill. Not too much of an aggressive champion, that one right there. The little guy with the bombs, he's probably just going to be sitting back, farming up a little bit, wave clear and whatnot. But there's a lot of playmaking on the side of Trick, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see that be the focus. The Viego Twisted Fate is a very strong 2v2. Sylas Lee Sin on the other side as well definitely can hold their own, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see a lot of kind of contests around that mid side to try and get some control, translate that into like river control, into jungle control, and then move around the map a little bit and try and make it happen elsewhere.
Well, we're on to the Rift, the first seed from the NLC, taking on Poland's first seed in PDW Tricked. Obviously, the Danish representation here for the NLC, and it's their first time out here at the European Masters. So for them, it's it's about making a bang.
It's not just their first time here as well, but it's the first time they're coming through as the first seed, and it's the first time that the NLC #1 isn't Fnatic, Rising, or BTXL. So pretty historical stuff as far as the NLC is concerned. And Tricked, they did have such a good performance though domestically. They really did earn that first spot. It's not just that the sister teams kind of fell off a little bit. It's very, very well earned from Tricked to be getting this #1 spot. And the way they've drafted as well, it's going to be an exciting game for them to watch, or for us to watch them play. And just a lot of playmaking, a lot of CC, a lot of explosiveness.
A lot of teleports, which means probably a fair amount of action early.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see where Poulsen goes when he hits 6. I mean, guess same for Czajek as well. I feel like topside is not a bad option. You've got pretty good setup with Madly, providing he has the flash. But then again, maybe you just want to try and get DenVoksne ahead. Because DenVoksne typically, when Tricked have found their wins, has been the superstar player for his team. He just does a crazy amount of work for his team in team fighting, positioning, his just damage output. He is typically the person who absorbs all of the pressure for the team.
Definitely, I think
the resources.
Yeah, we're gonna get a trade in bot side though. Lucky's getting kind of low.
Thrown down actually. kubYD take a lot of damage as he's going oh so low. DenVoksne just gets gifted first blood. I told you, he likes getting money.
He does like getting money. That was a bit surprising, but like you definitely don't win 2v2s if you're PDW. You've got to respect that, and definitely did not. Ooh, this is not. That's a bit much. It's a bit much right there, I would say, from Poulsen. He does have Spellbook, so I guess swap that out. It's not a huge deal, maybe. I mean, but yeah, maybe not the greatest. Not the greatest right there from Poulsen.
Sometimes you just got to show him who's boss.
Well, he's definitely done that. I think DenVoksne did it slightly more convincing fashion, getting that first blood. But either way, definitely, we talked about the playmaking, the explosiveness. Wasn't particularly productive from that mid lane, but still, it's something, right? We'll take it.
Oh. I'll be a little bit of punish. Czajek probably gonna have to look to reset fairly soon, but doesn't really want to reset yet. He wants Poulsen to shove the wave into him. Make sure he can catch the wave, and this does mean Poulsen will be able to get that earlier reset off. Because Lucky's coming in actually with DenVoksne. Bruness, I don't think, has seen this. They got the flash on the Rakan, so they're coming in. They're coming just for Lucky. He finds the kill. Gifted over as Bruness actually finds DenVoksne, but now he's been knocked up. The heal's already been used. The blast gun's been taken. Taxa's making his way over as well. And just like that, they are not done. Teleports are getting used, and Taxa's able to flash away. Gold card charged up for Poulsen, ready to fire if needs be. But Czajek is able to secure himself a revenge kill onto Taxa. Double buffs now onto your Sylas.
What a ridiculous roam from Tricked bot lane right there. Watching that from Czajek's POV, it's just like, what? He's just chilling, and then suddenly two people come jumping out of Fog of War and just bop him. I don't think he was expecting that. I think it was really good timing, though, obviously, for Tricked. Unfortunately, just, yeah, not... getting that return kill, though, for PDW really nullifies what happened in that play. And all in all, I'd say advantage PDW from what happened now.
I love at the beginning of this game, I was like, yeah, DenVoksne sits back, farms like 300 gold, and then carries team fights, right? Then he just plays crazy aggressive all game. Madly been spotted, well, caught out by Color somewhat here as he goes in for a belly bop, but Color hits that level up, and now he's got the Conqueror. Madly gonna feel the old ram. He's gonna lose his life. Poulsen, gold card charged up, just, you know, clear the minion wave out and sacrifice his life as Bruness secures the kill. The 9 out from Czajek at least, but Wave in a pretty nice place for Czajek, and he can just quickly clear through that thanks to his passive.
Doesn't have the flash because he did use that earlier on into the game, did Poulsen. That solid kill topside as well. Honestly, like the way that PDW play, Color's definitely one of the more active top laners that we have here in EU Masters. One of the better top laners. PDW, one of the more top focused teams. I wasn't really expecting too much when it's Ornn into Gragas, but you know what? He found a way to make it happen. Got a little bit of help from that level up as well, and Poulsen just a bit too far forward, honestly, without your flash as Twisted Fate, but a good roam there from the side of PDW to really punish that flashless Twisted Fate.
DenVoksne will spot out people, though it does have a blast going to get over the wall. OD's been pretty much left alone, so has actually built up a small experience lead over DenVoksne. Got that level 5 to level 4, though DenVoksne probably should catch it somewhat soon. Is something to keep in note, is there is that slight lead for OD as far as the experience goes. Did pick up a plate as well for himself. Kind of alleviates some of the gold, which DenVoksne's been able to pick up from that kill and assist. And stay stuck with the goal because it is dead even right now. 3 kills to PDW, 2 kills to Tricked.
And speaking of dead evenness, that's something that's probably not going to last much longer right here. Poulsen's going to get caught out of position. Not much to do there when you're playing Twisted Fate with no flash. Really getting punished for blowing that early. Great play right there from PDW, from the Polish squads to just make sure that Twisted Fate feels the impact of not having flash or bringing them down twice.
Yeah, and I mean, charged up the wrong card as well. Only had the blue card, so it wasn't really going to be able to do too much with that. That's now 2 kills onto Bruness, 1 kill onto Czajek, along with those 2 assists. Tricked probably now just going to look to play us a little bit more chill, because that early game aggression we wanted out of them kind of hasn't really been too fruitful. It started good, but it started to go a little bit sour for them now. As Taxa will look to pick up this crab uncontested, has been spotted out by the ward, but Bruness is not on that side of the map. Bruness may look for something bot side. Has got that level 6 available. No flash, so we'll have to rely on that ward hop to get the insec off.
Well, here's the thing. Czajek is level 6 as well, right? So he can steal that away from Poulsen. He can join bot side. Or even if it's just a 3v2, like, this is still pretty good right here for PDW. Here he is.
Just kited the vision as well there. DenVoksne has to be so careful as looking for the Zenith blade. They are going to catch him, but he's able to jump out. Now Lucky's been knocked up. He's able to jump away to safety. Kick does connect by Bruness, but she's going to lose a little bit of health, and that's going to be it. They look for the play. At the end of the day, Tricked are able to survive.
They are, but again, you see, he's stolen it mid. I'm pretty sure Czajek's now got the Twisted Fate. He's walking down bot side. He's thinking about it at least. You've got to respect that if you're Tricked. Like, they don't necessarily know what Czajek's up to. Obviously, he's now spotted on the ward. But anytime that he gets that push in and he roams to the bot side of the map, you've got to respect the fact that he can just TP down bot. You know, he has stolen that TFO. It can be really, really scary. You've picked the Twisted Fate because you want to make these cross-map plays. You're the one who wants to leave mid and to make it happen in the side lane. But it's Sylas. He's going to make it happen as well. You still got to respect that.
Dragon number 1 does get picked up for PDW. There is an answer here for Tricked as they pick up the Rift Herald as a response. Destiny's been used though, and Czajek will just give the information over to his team that the Rift Herald's going on, but they're all on resets, so obviously his Destiny was timing out, hence why he used it. They do have that information to work with, and now they'll be critically aware that Taxa will be looking to move around the map and use this, and with the fact that Poulsen now has the Destiny, Czajek doesn't, it's now to PDW to play a little bit more safe, a little bit more reserved, so they don't find themselves getting caught out by a multi-man dive into a Rift Herald into their tower.
That's definitely next on the cards. You got that Herald. You're going to want to slap it down, and then if you can collapse through the rest of the team, like there's no TP coming through from any of the top laners. So, and Czajek's TP is also on cooldown. The fact that he won't be able to have the Destiny up, he won't be able to steal it from Twisted Fate, means a huge thing right here. If we can just get that push in the mid side for Tricked, they might be able to move around and to try and make something happen and really put some pressure down on the bot side of this map. We'll see what Taxa decides to do, because he's really going to be the catalyst for this one, whether it's helping mid get a push or slapping down that Herald. But Poulsen, he's the target of the play right here. It's 3v1 mid.
He knows what's going on though. The ward dies out, he sees that die, doesn't get complete information on who, but he has the rough idea of who's clearing out his vision. So Poulsen just going to play a little bit more safe, and he's quite hard to deal with. He's got that lost chapters, he's got that mana to work with, and his wave clear, pretty strong right now. But you can tell that Tricked are looking to make a play on this side of the map. They are looking to try and see if they can get some plates, potentially a tower for themselves. As DenVoksne, level 7 now on the Tristana, working towards that Kraken Slayer or Gale Force. See what he decides to go for. Also working towards those tier 2 boots. 10 minutes on the clock and the gold lead 100 right now. Still yet to see a Destiny come out from Poulsen though.
And really this game is a good highlight for the importance of of lane priority, specifically in mid lane. If you can't get out of mid, even if you're on a really strong roaming champion, you can't move around the map because you're constantly sitting under your tower, you're constantly pushing out waves, and if you're on wave clear duty, you can't leave the lane. And Czajek's done a really good job on this Sylas. I mean, I think this is kind of how the matchup goes in general, but especially with the early game plays, it's been very hard for Poulsen to leave this lane. He's thinking about it now, but it's not necessarily something that, this is now just going to be a pure 4v4. Twisted Fate isn't that great in equal number skirmishes. It's just the fact that he can make it an outnumbered fight. Outnumbered fight.
Uneven.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, one of the two.
Unnumbered. So no one's there.
Yeah, literally. Jeez, man. But yeah, Twisted Fate catches people basically, and if it's a 4v4, it's not a catch. Wouldn't work in that way. The Czajek TP and bot. Poulsen's on the reset. This could be bad for Tricked.
Yeah, they are looking at DenVoksne. Here comes Czajek. He steals away and quickness into the bomb, and DenVoksne loses his life. Taxa able to jump away. They trade out support, but the double knocker comes in into the solar flare. kubYD gets the next one. Lucky has no friends nearby, and he will be losing his life momentarily. He's trying to dodge. He's trying to dive away. 3 kills to PDW. As they get a couple of plates in response. Overall, PDW walk away happy from that one. They've got the Ziggs. If they get this tower low enough, this will be first turret blood over to the Polish representatives. It looks like that should just be the case here.
It's gone. There's no way this is going to stay alive right here against the Ziggs. There it is. Boop. And it's dead. First blood, loads of plates, showing that between your Ziggs and your Sylas. Beautiful stuff right there, honestly. As a response from PDW was phenomenal. Double TP coming through. They knew they had the TP advantage as well. Madly already used that to get back topside. Looks like they're going to try and punish him again. Not just for not having his TP, but they're going to try and actually bring him down. But I think he'll be okay. He's got his flash. He's going to dash away as well.
Had the phase rush on, so he was able to really sprint away. Let's have a little look at the bot side again.
Yeah, it's honestly, oh my goodness, this is just textbook. I love this so much from PDW. The way that this was a play that was planned 5 minutes in advance. They know that Tricked has the Herald. They know that when you have a Ziggs on your team, it's going to be the focus of the Herald, because otherwise, how on earth are you going to siege that tower down? You can't versus Ziggs. And they were just waiting. They were waiting for it to happen. They were constantly tracking the movements of Poulsen in that mid lane to make sure that he wasn't able to join in on the play. They had the TP advantage. Just really smart stuff from the Polish number 1.
And nice pick up there. DenVoksne gets the final hit on that tower, so plates do go over to him solo. Madly getting Predator towards. I think this tower should be able to hold, however. There's enough members about with wave clearing. But he has to be somewhat careful, does have the satchel to buy some space. And now DenVoksne's on the flank, they're looking for the knock-up. The fella's breath will buy the space, and the cast comes out. DenVoksne now has to be careful as he's caught out by the chain lash. Just the shots in, as Bruness looks to run him down, but he goes in for the flash on the other side towards the tower. Everybody is getting bombed up, knocked up, taken down. Just like that, only finds a double kill. And Tricked are just getting destroyed right now.
It's not just Tricked's players getting destroyed. The second tower, yeah, I think it's going to go down to the Ziggs as well. It's low enough. You just put down that satchel charge.
There it is.
Yeah, and that's going to be second dragon as well. Oh my goodness, just we have exploded in the last 5 minutes here for the Polish squad. These guys have made so many beautiful plays right here, and they're punishing Tricked so hard. PDW is getting everything they want and more out of this game.
They really are. 3-0 on OD now. Incredibly big, and DenVoksne kind of returning to old habits. Just needs to go get some farm and try and carry a little bit later, but it is just, they're not getting the breathing room. They try to defend their mid and they just get dove.
I was kind of chuckling to myself when you said DenVoksne is on the flank. He's the AD carry. He's a Tristana. Yeah, it's like, just can't really do it, to be honest. And without the Tristana in this play, obviously PW are pretty far ahead at this point anyway. And trying to play against all that AoE damage, like Leona's throwing stuff down, Ziggs is throwing stuff down, Ornn is throwing stuff down. It's a lot to dodge out. And look at that. Yeah, Ziggs. The fact that Ziggs and Ornn did that much damage, especially an Ornn doing that much damage, is actually pretty nutty. You don't necessarily expect that out of an Ornn, but when everyone's grouped up like that, you're just knocking him down.
I mean, kubYD did more damage than DenVoksne in that last fight.
Yeah, DenVoksne, well, his flank position, I mean, if it had worked out, he had him. But unfortunately...
Look, man, I'm thinking Venza levels of Fed from last game. That's where my head's at right now.
Yeah, it wasn't quite going to happen right there, unfortunately. I don't know what he was really thinking, but still, it was just great. It was a great capitalization for PDW, and they're very solidly in the lead right now.
Nice little bomb there as well to make sure that the wave gets cleared out. No dragon to take, so there's really nothing that Trick can do other than just do that little bit of chip damage. There are pings towards the top side, the bot side, but they've got to realize that the top side's also heavily under siege right now from Czajek, who's going to be able to take that tier 1. That is 3 turrets to 1. Tricked are down. Pretty significant gold lead at the moment, and they're struggling. They are really struggling in this first game of their groups. And the Polish first seed have an absolute monster of a start here to the Amazon EU Masters.
The way they're playing this map is just so impressive, honestly. Like, it's great to watch them move around. Like, it feels like Tricked is always at least like 2 steps behind them. And the fact that PDW are able to recognize that and get the advantages that they are, you know, 60 minutes into the game, having a 3k goal lead is crazy. And we just saw the other 2 teams from Group B play, Movistar Riders and Penta. I'm going to hold that thought, though, because Tricked are going to get caught.
Yeah, they're looking for it. They got a lot of people knocked up. The Heartbreaker's already been used, and DenVoksne is going to have to jump away. But that is too much CC. That is one dead Tristana. And a double kill picked up like that for Bruness. Trick just look lost right now.
Absolutely. There's just no other word for it. Either Trick don't know what they're doing, or yeah, Maddie's dead as well. Trick, yeah, it's just falling apart at the seams. But I do want to give credit to PDW for the way that they're playing, because they're reading Trick like a book. They're always 2 steps ahead of them. They're always on the map in the right place to punish Trick. Trick just don't have an answer, and PDW, perfect punish coming from these guys.
It is absolutely flawless. Not much more to add to that, unfortunately. Dragon spawning up in 1 minute 50 time. 1 minute 50. There we go. That was a really weird way to word it. And I feel like PDW, with this Rift Tower in their pocket, should just be able to put that down in the mid lane, get priority, and then just go and take it. Or they could go use it to get one of these tier 2 turrets and expand that gold lead even further. But I believe that was like the first time we've seen Poulsen use his Destiny, and it was kind of just to spot out the people who were about to kill him.
Right, and I think that's that's really going to be the story of Destiny now, as well. Is like if PDW take control of the map, it's really hard for Trick to retake control, especially when they know like you're going to be face checking into like Ornn ulti, Leona Zenith Blade, Ziggs skill shots. So the best way to face check if you are Tricked is the Destiny. It's the TF ulti. So I really don't think we're going to get a lot of any interesting TF ults out of this game. At least while Tricked is still this far behind and trying to claw their way back in.
Yeah, I mean this kind of harks back to just how, you know, you said earlier, PDW have an amazing read on Tricked. They had an amazing read on them in Champ Select.
Yeah. Absolutely. When you pick like 7 champions away. Yep.
Yeah, like Taxa loves the Lee Sin. You've got the Sylas to steal away ultimates. They actually find themselves a pretty big bomb off on the Poulsen. Looking for the team fight. The knockoff is going to go down only onto Madly, but he's already heavily chunked. The gold card charged up in to a little bit of damage onto Bruness, but this tower will survive for now. Poulsen stepping up once again with that gold card ready to fire. Not going to be able to find too much here.
Oh, or are they?
Maybe Czajek's found himself gold carded, but he's got the Everfrost, the 2-man knockout. DenVoksne knocked up against the wall. They used the charge, they used the jump away, but DenVoksne being continued to be chased onto. Can't find the damage. He just has no damage right now. DenVoksne constantly free firing, but doing no damage in responses. They will kill a Leona. DenVoksne gets himself his 2nd kill of the game, but he is significantly behind. That damage was pathetic.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Czajek. It really was nothing to write home about. And because PDW have moved towards the top side, yeah, they are getting the resets, but like, can Tricked try and find a way to squeeze this dragon out here? Leona is dead. They are 5 strong on the map, and yeah, those resets were quite late from PDW. It doesn't look like they're that interested, honestly, here in this 3rd dragon, which makes sense. You don't really have to be. It's all good stuff. It's just, you know, gonna delay that soul a little bit, but I don't think PDW care a huge amount about that. It is only the Cloud Soul and their position on the map, setting up these wave states, allowing them to take control around the Baron area. That's going to be their next play. Suffocate the vision from Tricked, make them face check into you, turn on them, and you can easily just take away the game from that spot.
Now we are seeing the Wit's End finished up for DenVoksne, building towards the 3rd item. Assuming it'll probably be an Infinity Edge, because DenVoksne really needs to find some damage. Could have been a very different fight if he, you know, had that damage, but the ornaments are coming out. Color starting to hand those ones off, and you know, these extra kind of almost half items worth of damage and utility. Yep. Defensive stats will be coming in for the members of PDW, which is just going to make it even harder for Tricked to be able to handle them. And PDW, they're just baiting around the Baron. They've got great setup here on the Vision. There is that 1 ward outside the pit. So as long as that stays there, Tricked do have a relative area comfortability. Czajek's going to get his Everfrost upgraded. No, it was actually the Gore Drinker upgraded for Bruness.
This is it. You've got that 1 ward that's ratting PDW out. If it weren't for that, then they'd be absolutely smiling right now. The fact that Tricked just can't face check. You're jumping in to engage from Leona, you're jumping in to engage from Ornn, you're jumping into skill shots from Ziggs. You can't be doing that. The one plus side, however, working in Tricked's favor, is the Baron damage is pretty low.
Yeah.
Don't have that traditional AD carry or consistent damage.
That ward has now been denied by the pink they put down, but there's the Scryer. They know this is going on. It's going to have to be all on Lucky to find an amazing engage. Just kubYD jumping forward. They find the knockup onto 1. Poulsen's going to find himself CC chain. Odie might just get sounded up by the Baron. He's going low. Shutdown has been picked up for Poulsen already. And Madly's over the wall, scattering the fight. PDW are sent packing as Color finds the knockup on the Taxa. And just like that, Tricked find themselves 1 kill. Crucially, a shutdown kill. And they stop the Baron.
That's all you got to do if you're Tricked. You bought yourself some time, you've got some gold in your back pocket, and now you can get some vision down as well. Reset that top side of the map. Get rid of the wards, get your own down as well. Beautiful stuff right there from Tricked. I think, yep, the fact that there isn't great Baron damage from PDW means that there's not really a huge amount of pressure or threat for Tricked to actually face check this one early, and Odie's just left by himself.
He got gold carded from the rapid fire cannon in Baron, and then Baron just finished it up for Poulsen.
That's just ridiculous. Everyone else was all in on the turn, which makes a lot of sense when you don't have Baron DPS. But poor old Odie there just left to himself and falling down to Baron. The 6th member for Tricked which they did need a 6-member, honestly, if they're going to look to try and win this one. It's not looking good for them so far.
No, it's still definitely an uphill battle here for Tricked, even if they did find themselves a team fight. 4 kills to 13 right now. A 4,000 gold lead over to PDW. There is obviously a bunch of locked gold in these towers if they can get their hands on them for Tricked, and that could be pretty important as DenVoksne trying to build towards, which I actually think is going to be a Phantom Dancer as the next item. Unless that turns into like a Vampiric and it's like a Bloodthirster third, which would be an interesting build, a new one.
Probably not going to happen.
Probably not going to happen.
But yeah, either way, getting that third item, I mean, it might not be the Infinity Edge, but either way, it's going to be nice to pick that up. And you're really relying on DenVoksne now to pump up that deep. He's your main consistent damage. To be honest, he's one of the only consistent DPS champions in this game. And he's what Tricked relied on. You know, domestically, he's been their win condition. Statistically speaking as well, he's got a large majority of the damage share on Tricked when they are playing, when they're winning specifically. And if Tricked want to look to turn this one around, which will be very hard to do, but if, it's going to be on the back of that Tristana.
Yeah, absolutely. Tier 2 answer for Tier 1, not particularly the most worth trade, but they can just continue to stall, hold out, pick up gold here and there. Tricked might have an avenue back in. But the big problem is Baron. Blind checking through the vision is so hard. In fact, they're able to pick up that earlier dragon. Does slow down the potential for a soul, at least for the side of Tricked. But PDW, the map is theirs right now. They can go wherever they please, and Tricked kind of have to play at their whim and look for mistakes to punish.
Absolutely, and just peeping the item build that DenVoksne usually goes for Tristana, it is often that Phantom Dancer third. So wouldn't be too surprised to see that one going down. The thing is, he's had to deviate a little bit with that Wit's End because he's against a lot of magic damage. And so yeah, he's going to be a little bit behind his core build. Trick's going to go for that engage.
He's got a lot of CC onto Bruness, but there's going to be the gold card able to CC's on. DenVoksne's kiting away, he's had the flash. Lucky's jumping out, but he will lose his life just like that. PDW find 2 quick kills. And honestly, Dragon be damned, they can turn their attention towards this Baron if they please.
I think they might even be able to do both. They're going to start up this Dragon, take that one down pretty quickly, not too much. Tricked are going to be able to do about that one. DenVoksne's hovering, but yeah, just going to have to back away from that. Wouldn't be surprised to see them now turn on to the Baron. They've got some pretty decent death timers. However, having said that, Poulsen as Twisted Fate can just Destiny back in. I don't think they'll start up the Baron. They might be able to, they should be able to take control of the area at least, deny that vision, maybe even look for a catch.
Yeah, they are looking for a pick onto Madly. Madly buying some space. Taxa's the one who are actually turning their attention towards. Like you said, Destiny teleport available to Poulsen. Flash is getting used, and Bruness actually looking to chase here onto Taxa. Gonna get himself into the invisibility, but the kick's gonna go down, and Taxa will lose his life. Won't even have time to Heartbreaker away to safety, but he is just buying time for the team. But the kick connects, and Taxa will lose his life as Bruness is dominating. I think they may just have to trade out for Baron. They did buy time to get the rest of the team back on the Rift. They might be able to take this Tier 1.
I think Tricked were a little bit slow on the uptake here. They could have just ran it down mid. But because you've got Tristana on your team, you're going to take that anyway. You're going to take that first tower. And if this is all that happens right now, 1 kill for tower, you take that. Tricked will take that any day of the week. No problemo. They haven't even lost control of the top side of the map as far as vision is concerned either. I think it's the first time in this entire game that I give the map advantage over to Tricked. The way that they played that one out, that is going to be that Baron started up. Not the best damage, but still, it is a 4v5. Taxa's just respawned.
They got that Destiny. Like you said, it's not the best bad damage, but they've got the numbers advantage. Poulsen joining in. There's the Solar Flare. Already, though, the CC onto DenVoksne is huge. Baron being stopped, being thwarted here. And now Poulsen's the one on the wrong side of the Rift as Madly cancel everyone down. The kicks are going wide, and Chax has made his way forward. Tricked once again are buying himself a little bit of space, a little bit of time, and the longer this game goes, the better for Tricked, because they are just so far behind at the moment. In a strict 5-on-5, there is no way on earth they should be winning fights.
Any kind of trade, even if it's not a perfectly equal trade, even if it's kind of bad for you but not too bad for you, Tricked will take that. That is the exact situation that they're being put in this game so far. And the thing with PDW right now is they know they have to turn because they don't have the best Baron damage. They don't have the consistent DPS to bring it down. But Tricked also know that. And they're playing really, really respectfully right now of that turn, of the engage. And it's one of the beautiful things about having a Tristana on your team as well. You can buffer that rocket jump and get out of pretty much any situation. Like she had a Leona ulti thrown down on top of her. And it didn't even matter. She just jumped out of it. The Ornn ult hit her too, and she was too far away because of the jump. And that's all that you need to do as Tricked. You just need to play it slow. You need to avoid that re-engage and try not to just lose like 4 people as PDW suckers you into the Baron. They've been able to do it so far, but it looks like it might be difficult now.
Poulsen popping the ghost as he switches back towards the flash as DenVoksne. He has to be a little careful. Solar Flare lands onto Poulsen. He hasn't got the flash, so he may just lose his life here, but lucky with the shielding, with the gold card. Make sure that Poulsen gets out scot-free. DenVoksne's in a bit of a questionable position, but is able to buy himself some safety. But if you look on the other side of the map, Lucky jumping away, but it's Color shoving into the base here. We'll be able to take this tower, and Tricked are way too slow to the punch on this one, so that's going to be an open inhibitor. They won't take the inhib unless they want to commit more members. The resets are come forward, and Poulsen's got that gold card ready to fire, and I think the inhibitor will just lose its life. DenVoksne with the Lord Dom recognizing that this is definitely a front-to-back team fighting here. Wants that penetration to be able to kind of cut through these tanks.
Yeah, the Leona and Ornn being in your face are definitely important. It's going to be hard for you to find any kind of window to jump in onto the Twist of Fate or the Sylas, because there's just so much being thrown at you. You have to stand back. You have to chill out. If you walk forward, you're going to be in trouble because you're going to get hit by all the skill shots coming your way. It's very difficult to play this one out, though. It's definitely not simple, but having that top inhib down really... This could be really big for PDW because they've already tried this Baron dance a few times. It's not really worked out, and now they can just try and for this Baron play, this Dragon play, excuse me, instead, which will be Soul. And when you've got top lane pushing out because you've got inhibitors and the inhibitor down, it means you can rotate over to that Dragon side. You can make it happen. You will have that huge push, and then DenVoksne is just like pushing out 6 waves in the top side just to deny that push. They might get caught out.
Has got the backup. They get the Everfrost off. Here's the stopwatch. Here's the backup. They get the charm. Czajek actually has to flash away. Gold card charged up for Poulsen. Comes over the wall to get a whole bunch of damage off of that Everfrost. Poulsen dodging away. Czajek feeling the hurt, and actually Taxa going crazy deep. Lucky jumps in. Now another gold card connects, and somehow Tricked getting away with murder on this play.
Czajek surviving as well with just a little bit. But it now means that who has the first move on the map is PDW. They're going to run down to this Dragon area. Going to secure this one. It will be Soul for PDW. And whereas the Cloud Soul might not mean a huge amount for PDW, the thing is, there's 2 benefits right here. Firstly, it takes it off the map and opens up Elder, which will be huge for you as a team. And secondly, being able to like sprint it down after you've thrown your ultimate out, for people like Ornn, Leona, if you're looking for that turn and the engage, which is the playstyle we've seen from them so far in this game around that Baron area, having that extra move speed when you're zooming down after using your ulti, pretty big stuff. Can be useful right there.
There you go. You see how quick Czajek is. Just buster shotted Taxa. They're going to look for the siege, and when you got the Ziggs this late in the game, towers are butter. So able to take that down nice and easy. Madly, pretty squishy build here, means getting heavily poked out. Poulsen with the long-range gold cards will be a nuisance to PDW, but I don't think it's going to be a game-defining nuisance for them. And that's going to be the inhib going down. Second inhib of the game will fall, but they only have 2 minutes left on that top lane inhibitor. It's what they can do if they can turn it into this bot lane inhib. Turns out they didn't need Baron to siege, they just needed gold.
Yeah, and this is it. As the game's gone on, like you said, Ziggs has just so much damage to these towers. Now they've got 2 inhibitors down. Tricked can't really engage because they're... Yeah, but here we go. It's PDW engaging.
All of the forward squad's been thrown down, but DenVoksne's untouched in the moment. Look at the damage onto Bruness coming out from Dead. He does so much work. CC lands on the Color, but able to get the Bellows Breath off. Czajek steals away the Satchel. Open inhibitor bot side, down inhibitor mid and top side. Tricked are well and truly turtling this game. They have been able to put some of the brakes on, but it's not a full stop, and that is the big problem for them. The Polish first seed still accelerating from an absolutely brilliant start to this game. And it just feels like the NLC representatives, their first seed, Tricked, struggling right now.
It was an absolutely phenomenal early and mid game from PDW. The way they played the map, the way they punished Trick was really, really impressive. I would say it was the best like 15-20 minutes that I've seen at EU Masters so far this split. Very impressive stuff, but they haven't had the same killer instinct to really close this game out, and Trick have been holding on quite some time right here. Part of that comes down to the comp that PDW are playing. They have to play it slow. They're unable to really just put that nail in the coffin for Trick, but at this point you have to think, you know, 2 inhibitors down, only towers left for Trick are those Nexus towers. It's going to be hard to keep stalling this one out. You've got lanes perma pushing into your super minions. PW starting up the Baron. They're doing it very fast now, though.
It's going a lot quicker. I mean, you got those ornaments, lots of items being stacked up, and DenVoksne almost full build. This is your moment. They've used the cast from Czajek, and Baron is staying aggroed for the moment. Destiny spotting everybody out. They know where Color is. They're going to catch him with the gold card. kubYD taking a lot of damage. He may just lose his life to DenVoksne. Able to find the kill, but the Baron has been secured. They get a knockup from Lucky. Big bomb coming down. Poulsen needs a kick, but he's going to be able to survive for now. From Madly going golden. Now DenVoksne can continue to fire away as the gold card comes down. Madly waiting for the cooldown reduction, and OD will lose his life to DenVoksne. He's trying to find the opportunity to pop off. 3 members of PDW, though, are able to get away with their lives. Baron in pocket. Overall, PDW are going to be pretty happy with that one.
Let's take another look at how this one went down. PDW started it up. They don't do it too fast, but it's a lot faster than before, and I think that caught Trick a little bit off guard. But keep your eye on DenVoksne. He does so much damage. It's all on him in these team fights. And he's able to keep his distance from PDW so that he doesn't get caught out of position. And he sees OD on the back here. He sees the recall, jumps in, gets that auto attack off, cancels the recall, able to pick up an extra free kill. You see, like, PDW are pretty squishy if DenVoksne can get in there and right click. He's got a 700 gold bounty, 4 items now. We said that Trick to live and die by DenVoksne. He is going to be their salvation this game if Trick are able to pick up the W. The thing is, how do they enable him? Because sure, you won that team fight, but you still lost the Baron.
Yeah, they did. It's going to be hard. I mean, he's only going to get a little bit stronger as well. That's the big thing. It's not like he's going to continue to ramp up in power. Level 18, as strong as he gets, the most range he can get. He's now got a QSS, so when he's finished that item up and got himself the Mikhails, he's done. That's as strong as he's going to be for the rest of the game. The rest of the team, though, massively far behind. Tax has only got 2 items. He's level 14 to Bruness, who's 606. Got a Guardian Angel in pocket. It looks like we're setting up for some action here. Is PDW going to use this Baron and try and get into the base? And when you got that Ziggs, remember how quickly structures can go down.
It's all the DenVoksne show right here for Tricks. PDW just playing it slow. Getting that Baron buff, letting it do the work. You have to think at this point, 1 decent engage
look at the shot
on PDW is all they need.
Watch out for the Ornn Horn. That's going to be the big go button for now. Cutler going to take a whole lot of damage from DenVoksne if he's not going to die. DenVoksne dodges out on the solar flare, but everybody's locking him down. He's looking to flash out, but he will lose his life. And just like that, they find their opportunity to close this one out. Poulsen can hold the wave. He can assassinate OD all he needs, but a triple kill for Czajek means for Tricked, they're out of options. They're out of time. And Bruness is going to look to close this one up, but they want to find the quadra kill onto Poulsen, but Poulsen just continuing to kite away. The inhibitor respawn, but the bot lane will still be there. 37 minutes on the clock. And the Polish first seed will find themselves the win over Tricked.
It took a bit longer than we were thinking from that early game, and Tricked held on decently enough. But PDW never really looked out of control in that game. They were always on the ball right there. They played the map really, really well in that laning phase and in the mid game. And honestly, when all said and done, at the end of the day, the Polish #1, well-deserved victory, and just as terrifying. It might not be Kick, it might not be Illumina, it might not be Rogue, but PDW, holy moly, do they look scary.
And, you know, maybe some questions raised for the NLC and their first seed in Tricked, and, well, our first seed, let's be real, this is our region. But, yeah, you know, domestically, look terrifying. They had some questionable plays early there. They fell behind a lot of lanes and it got a little bit out of hand for them. But anyway, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But before that, we're going to throw to a quick break. So we'll see you in a jiffy. everybody, and welcome back to the Amazon EU Masters. The Polish first seeds in PDW found themselves a pretty convincing win over Tricked. Now, I will give my praises to Tricked for being able to slow that game down from what was honestly a pretty doomed scenario, but I think the game had slipped way too far away from them at that point, and it was super hard for them to ever come back to that. I mean, seeing the power of the Ziggs, short fuse, late game, half off a turret. Like, honestly, all in all, amazing stuff from PDW. Really, really impressive team.
Yep, I honestly, yeah, I was just really impressed with the way they played the map. I think it was brilliant. I've said that a million times already, but you know, it was great to see this specifically right here. This felt like a play that was coming for a long time. PDW read this perfectly, and then when it came to execute it, they were just on the ball. That caught Tricked completely with their pants down. Massive punish from them as well, and then PDW just played out like their comp. They played out their win comms really well, and for me, it just doesn't look like there was like any real weakness for them in that lane phase, and it was very impressive to see.
Yeah, the perfect read, I think, is honestly the best way to sum up this game. PDW just have a perfect read. They had an amazing draft versus Tricked. They just beat them with what Tricked do good. You know, Lee Sin, TF being able to, you know, be countered by the Sylas, and Poulsen frankly looked pretty lost on this Twisted Fate. He didn't actually get an opportunistic ulti, and you know, the one shining hope I think for Tricked was, as always, DenVoksne. I think, you know, even in this pretty doomed game, he still did the best he could to try and get himself strong. But these all Polish superstar teams are just terrifying every EU Masters, man. 5 Polish players, and goddamn, they performed so well.
Just when you think you know all of the Polish superstars, there comes another one. And another one, and another one, and it's just like, oh my goodness, it's ridiculous stuff. You're seeing there, like, that's a lot more damage than I thought from Gragas, but still, it's just this time last year we were singing the praises of Rogue. Rogue won it all. They were then picked up into LEC. Pretty much all of them were picked up into LEC for the following split.
Yeah, and
that was the Polish #1. And now we're here in 2021 summer, 1 year later, and it's the same situation where the Polish #1. I mean, we're one game into it. That maybe I should calm down a bit, but still, just looking ridiculously strong. You just can't sap that region of talent. You can't do it.
No, I don't think we're getting too overhyped here. I think that region is stacked with talent. I don't think there's any real question on that. But anyway, we're all moving forward towards our 3rd game of the day. Before that, we're going to cut to a break. When we're back with Z10 versus Big. We'll see you in a moment.
He's going to flash in, and he steals the ball. How did that connect by Edgeway?
As EU Masters champions.